Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're working on another B15. This time I managed to save the video, but one of the cameras went into slow motion mode halfway through. So about halfway through this video we've only got one angle. But notwithstanding that, the radio of course works as well as the other one, which is to say very, very good. Now, I had a few little problems getting there. The wiring had to be redone in a lot of the places. So, and we also had some problems with ringing and feedback and things like that. So, enjoy. So this is the rather crusty B15. It's not in great condition. Exterior wise, there's quite a number of marks on here. Looks like someone's been at it with the sandpaper, glue or some sticker up there or something. There's a chip out there. There's a chip there. And of course this major one here. This big crack along here. The dial face is not glued in anymore. Looks like it's come out of its slot. And the markings have rubbed off, but that's easily fixed. Rather marked. Oh, I should show you the sticker on the bottom. From Bendigo. It says radio is obviously from Bendigo. This looks like a crack. And the very crusty power cord. That should be repairable fairly easily. Some light on it for you. So the stick loop antenna is broken. Something sticky in here. So this should go on to here. Use some JB Weld on that. These look like the speaker posts or whatever. The valves look okay. One looks a bit crusty. Clean that up. It's being a 5-valve set. Now from memory, we have to unplug the speaker. Not that much is holding it on. Finally. So we have this. This has been painted for some reason. Probably to let stop the light shining through. But the 4 posts have come off. Brittle. This is the dial face. Not particularly great. But it's intact. AQ5 has this build-up of salt on it, like the other radio we looked at a couple of weeks ago. Bit of damage there, but that's easily hidden with a Sharpie or something. This cover is not in a good way. Looks like it's yeah. That tab has been bent. So we can get you a close-up of that. This tab is actually bent right over and it's supposed to be vertical. And attach the side of it. So I don't know what's happened there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the valves are in place. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 capacitors, electrolytics are there and there. This one, the body goes to ground. This one seems to be floating or isolated. They've all, well actually these don't look too bad, but these down in here look pretty sad, although they don't look burnt. Oh, this one does a little bit, but not too bad. A couple of cobwebs. That resistor doesn't look happy. Okay, I'll recap it and we'll be back. So I'm part way through recapping it, and it's doing something very strange, because I always check the caps after each one just to make sure it still works. So I've done the main filter caps and I've done these two, and it may do it, it may not, but we'll see how we go. So it's on, the pilot lights are on. So yeah, and that was at minimum volume. So I'm not quite sure what is shorting out, but it wasn't making any noise whatsoever when I bought it. So we'll see what happens. You might, is it one of the valves or something like that? I don't know. Anyway, we'll continue on with the recapping, and this is pretty hard to do. I've had to rewire. Turn it off, Andrew. Okay, so this is, yeah, okay. So I've had to rewire some of it. I had to do this on the other one as well, because there is absolutely no space around. Let's try and get some more light on it. Is that better? So there's no space around here where the two electrolytics are, and they've got a couple of connections coming off of each. So that was a 3 connector electrolytic 24 in there, and this was just a standard one with the body going to ground. So I've had to rewire all of this, and once I get it going, I'll put some heat glue on it, or some hot glue, or some hot snot, and that'll hold those in place. It's not shorting out anywhere with my connections, so they're well away from the original connection there. So I'm not quite sure. I don't know whether it's the still don't know whether it's this coil up here. But as I say, we'll continue on and we'll be back. Well, I have it working to the very, very slightest degree. I can just hear a station at full volume, and I do have the antenna connected, I think. Unless this is... Now it could be partly the ferrite rod, which is broken. All the resistors check out. I still have a couple of capacitors to do. 1, 2, 3, well, 4 capacitors to do, and they're not going to be easy because they're buried. The voltages seem to be all over the place. So I suspect a valve, and what I'll do is I'll replace these 4 capacitors, and then I'll change the valves out of the other set, which is working perfectly. So it doesn't look like I've miswired anything, although I can never tell with this sort of arrangement because it's so complicated. Anyway, we'll continue on and we'll be back. Okay, we're back. I finished doing all the caps and I slowly went through all the valves, and it was still doing, before doing that I was still doing the cutout stuff. So it was coming up to voltage, working for about maybe 5 seconds or so, and then going bang, and then cutting out. So I started to replace all the valves, and it turned out to be our old friend, the 6AQ5. Now I've replaced about 10 of these in various radios, so they are troublesome. They must be dying a slow death, but this one seems to have a short in it somewhere, and I don't have a valve tester that tests these valves. So, well, I do, but it's in pretty bad condition, so it needs to be rebuilt. Yes, so it's this one. And I don't know, they all seem to short out. Seems to be working reasonably well, although this aerial seems to be... And neither of these leads seems to do anything. Pretty sure that's supposed to be the earth. So we'll clean the controls. So this is doing nothing. That's doing a little bit, but not as much as I'd expect. Yeah, this is really stiff.
Disciplined as possible, letting balls go. If he comes around the wicket, just downgrade Russia's trading status with the West.
The dial is way out.
Natural resources. The US is also seeking to deny Russia the ability to borrow from international financial institutions such as the
Okay, so let's clean the controls before I go deaf, a little bit crackling, and we'll be back. I've given it a thorough clean. I took it outside and dusted it off, and I've lubricated the tuning, put a little bit of oil on my fingertip and ran it down here, and then I also did the idler wheels, or whatever you like to call them, with just the tiniest smidgen of oil. Also oiled the bearing at the back. And a bit of a tip here, you can use a business card just to get between the fins on the tuning capacitor, and you just rub them in. I don't know whether you can see that or not. It's just, yeah. So you go along and do all of them. Another tip is to use, where do they go? These little chenille sticks. I get these from Spotlight, where I also get speaker cloth. And these go down into the valve sockets. They're not as good as the old pipe cleaners were, but I refuse to go into those smokers' shops to buy anything like that. And then what you do is, once you've used a little bit, maybe one valve, you just snip it off. Just snip them off. Like that. And then you've got to have a fresh piece. So the 100 bag that I've got is probably going to do about maybe 400 radios or something like that, if I'm lucky. Also sprayed out the controls. Bring that around. Okay, so I'll plug the speaker back in again, and I remembered why the little tubes here blow all the time, or blow eventually, is because they get so hot. This radio's got a metal shield to protect the cabinet. It gets as hot as the rectifier tube. Okay, so plug it in, and we'll turn it on. Wait a few moments for it to warm up. Let's hope it's going to work. Much better.
It's not the worst.
This is really sensitive, even though I haven't aligned it or fixed the...
Koenig windows keep out drafts and noise. De Koenig windows keep the heating during winter and out in summer, saving you on your energy bills.
The problem is it needs...
To last, giving you outstanding value for your money.
needs an earth or something.
Reason do you need?
I'll put a new cord on it soon. It's all Connected up with a brand new cord, earthed, although the dim bulb isn't earthed. So we'll turn it on, try it on full power, and then we'll plug it into the mains.
Cheapest Chips can even pressure clean the outside of your home, leaving it like new at a price you can afford. End of lease, sale or auction of properties? Get total cleaning by Cheapest Chips. Call 9826 1111. 7 days a week, credit cards welcome. Cheapest Chips, 9826 1111. The ones you can trust.
This is a message to all those unsinkable guys out there. You don't need to swim between the flags. Ignore those warning signs. Don't check the weather. Hop in your boat, have a few drinks, and jump in anyway. Too right, yeah! You might think you're unsinkable, but 4 out of 5 drownings are men. No one's unsinkable. Rethink taking risks around water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, Melbourne.
Melbourne's classic hits from the 60s, 70s and 80s. Magic 1278 and DAB. Melbourne's classic hits from the 60s, 70s and 80s. Magic 1278 and DAB.
Okay, it should be over here, so it's still a little bit out. So we'll turn this down and we'll go back to the other end of the dial. And we'll just push this along a little bit. Still needs more.
Download the Magic 1278 app and take Magic 1278 with you wherever you go.
Okay, that'll do for today. So we'll end this part here, and next time we'll work on the case, although it's getting a little bit late in the year to do retro brighting. We'll see how this goes, because this one isn't, this one's quite white, but it could do with a fair bit of polishing. Yeah, so I'll decide what I'm going to do with that. I'll also fix the studs, and bye for now, and I'll see you on the next side.